I had made up in my mind that when that man went to sleep, I was gonna stab him to death. He was getting a body. That's where I was in my life. Like, you don't come get me right now, I'm gonna kill him.
Hello, welcome today to the Phoenix Perspective. I am with a man today, and I mean man in the fullest sense of the word. I've known this brother for several years, and we had a conversation 2 months ago, and it's the first time we really got to talk and get to know each other and their stories. Normally I go through their titles and what they do and this and that. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna say that for the end. What I am gonna tell you is he is a husband first. He is a father. He is a son. He is an amazing man who's all about uplifting people, places, and things. He's making moves happen that nobody knows about because he doesn't have to show you. He doesn't have to show you how much he has. He can teach you how to have yours. I'd like to introduce today Ed Edwards, father, husband, businessman, motivational speaker, jack of all trades.
You're making me sound really good right now. But I appreciate that. Humbly, I accept that in my spirit.
Well,
humbly, I accept that.
It's how I feel.
Yeah, I accept that.
We're going to jump right in because we want to talk a lot today. And my first thing I'm going to say is this. When people think about Baltimore City, this man right here is not what people generally think about Baltimore City. On my platform now, I've gotten to know a lot of people from Baltimore City who are doing amazing things. And I want them all to have their props because it ain't just about them. And they understand it's not just about me. It's about my community. It's about my family. It's about my life. So Ed, you grew up in West Baltimore.
West Baltimore.
Tell me about the early days in Ed's life.
First of all, I want to show you. You see what I'm wearing right there? You can read it. It says what?
To Baltimore with love.
Okay. So I'm Baltimore through and through. Early days in Baltimore City, probably some of the best times of my life, if I'm being honest with you, because I didn't know any better, right? I knew the environment that I grew up in. We had all the problems that you would say in the inner city had at the time. There was drugs, there was violence, there was police brutality, all of that. But it was also family structure, love, people looked out for each other if you were from the neighborhood. It's funny, I had just took my kids, so you said I was a father. All my children, although I've moved away from Baltimore, we go there. I take them back to Lexington Market, the old Lexington Market.
The old
Lexington Market, right? I take them to where I grew up. The playground that I played on, my daughter literally was playing on that playground this past Saturday.
Wow.
I take her back because I want her to understand and see how I grew up. Because I feel like sometimes to make a good human, if I want my daughter to be a good human, she doesn't live that life. She's never seen it before. But I never want her to feel like she's an elite or better than. And the only way you can break that narrative is you have to introduce them to those people so they understand that these are people just like me. Irrespective of what I have, these are people. So she gets to play with the same kids that I played with. The guys I grew up with, she's playing with their kids in the neighborhood. And it's funny because when we pulled up, I remember my wife, I'll never forget, she's gonna probably kill me for this, but she was like, is she gonna be okay? I said, you see all them old men over there on that playground? Nothing's gonna happen to her. Nothing. It's a safe space. So Baltimore to me made me who I am. Like 100% made me who I am. Without all of the things that Baltimore City, growing up in the inner city, did for me, hardened me, and we'll get into that a little bit, taught me how to be a man, taught me how to survive, taught me how to love. I mean, Baltimore taught me everything, so I owe my city a lot, It poured a lot into me. So it's only right that in my current state that I reciprocate and pour back. So city's a big deal for me.
Okay. Family. What does family mean to you?
Everything. We're gonna get deep.
That's what it's about. Let's go there. Get deep.
We're gonna get deep here. So, you know the narratives in most inner city families. You know, single mother, absentee dads, all the stuff that comes with it. What I had was a loving mother who loved me the best way she knew how. She gave me everything she could with what she had. I would say she had a poor choice in men and who she decided to give herself to openly and to put around her children. But nevertheless, she loved, right? So growing up with that mother, the absentee dad, the stepdad, who I considered to be absent but present, meaning he was there, but he wasn't. You know, and some people, I need people to understand that there's a such thing as an absent but present father.
Absolutely.
You know, who was there, who was abusive. You know, and don't get me wrong, I know back then we called abuse discipline. No, he was abusive. I'm gonna call it what it was. It was a lonely time for me a little bit, you know, from a family perspective. We was talking in the green room, if you will, about being left alone. So my mom started her own family with her new man. My dad started his own family with his new woman. And there I was in the middle, searching for that love and that want. And I did get it. God bless my grandmother and my aunt. I mean, they poured into me.
That extended family.
That extended family poured into me, right? But there was still no male figure. You know, my uncles tried to fill the gap where they could, but they had their own families to deal with, right? So you have to find your own footing. So I'm trying to find my own footing. So one thing I learned, and I tell people, you can learn a lot through pain if you pay attention, right? So through that journey, I learned everything that I would say I didn't want to be to my kids. I didn't know how to be a father, but I knew what not being a father looked and felt like. And I knew I didn't want that.
And to say that, not to cut you off, but that resonates with me. Like I said, we had this conversation several weeks ago, and that's when I said, I gotta have you here. I tell people all the time, you know how you want to be treated. You know, me, not having a father in my life, I had the uncles, had plenty of uncles. I had a community that raised me. But not having that father, just like you just said, showed me the type of father I wanted to be. I knew what I wanted. I knew I didn't like what I had. And I swore that I would always be what I wanted for my child.
Absolutely.
And not let a community, not let circumstances make me like the man who was supposed to love and cherish, and show me how to be a man.
And that's the easy way. It's easier to not do it. And I tell people all the time, it's easier not to parent. That's the easy way out. It's easy to make a baby and walk away. That's easy work. You know, but to get in, to love, to lean in, to be a father, to be a husband, takes work. It's a commitment. It's a lifelong commitment. It's the only thing really in my mind you need to be committed to, is if you have a wife and you have children. That's your commitment, right? And I learned that that feeling of loneliness hurts. You know, to want love and can't get it, man, that's a...
And as a child...
Man, come on. And you see it. I mean, you get to... I mean, within that structure, I get to see my sisters and my half-brothers get it on a regular basis. 2 people in the house. They go to movies, they go on trips, I'm watching it happen. I'm watching my stepdad on my mom's side embrace my younger brother, teach him things, talk to him. So what happens then is you begin to wonder, what's wrong with me? Why nobody wants to love me that way?
How did that person act or react towards people? How did that person who wanted that love, that attention? Because I know for me, I did not always act the best. Within the home.
We rebel.
Within the home, I didn't act the best.
We rebel. We harden ourselves. It's a protective mechanism. You know, because you want the hurt to stop. And as a kid, you don't know how to really stop it, so you act out.
To be thinking that's going to help you be accepted or get the attention you think you need. Yes.
No, not the attention you need, just attention. Period. See, at that point, it doesn't matter what type of attention I'm getting. I just want some attention. So if acting out's going to get something from you, then that's what I'm going to do. And then once I get it, I now learn how to navigate through whatever that feeling is that I'm feeling, good, bad, or indifferent. I learn how to navigate through it, but you're now paying me attention. So yeah, I'm gonna go to school and act out. Yes, my mom's gonna have to leave Park Sausage and come drive down and see what's going on, but I got you to pay me some attention. So I'm acting out.
So I'm gonna ask, because we're gonna get back on subject, but I'm gonna ask, because since I've known you, you are the most calm, patient, caring, attentive man I've ever met. And knowing from whence you came, the abuse you went through, and we won't talk about that, because that's major. Because, you know, the Phoenix perspective is about people overcoming things and coming on the other side and letting people know you're not the only ones who experience what you experience. And I ask people to open up. You want to talk, people can call me anytime to talk about what they need to talk about, especially kids, because they need that.
They gotta have it.
And they gotta know that you're true.
Gotta have it.
So for you, where did you learn to be that, where did that patience come from, that understanding your past to bring to your present, to let you have that type of effect on everyone who comes in touch with you feels the same way?
Well, first let me tell you what my motto is first, and then I'll tell you how I got there. Right now, you may have heard me say this before. Every person you meet in that moment, you are scribing in their book of life. Right now, I'm scribing in your book of life. Whatever page this is, whatever chapter this is, you've allowed me today to scribe, forever noted in your book of life. You go back in your memory book, this is going to be here. So the first thing I want to tell myself is I want to respect and honor that from the get-go, because it's a privilege to be in someone else's book of life, right? You allow me in, I got to take that as a respectful nod of appreciation. And I'm saying to you, thank you for letting me do that. So now what I'm saying is, how do I be as impactful in my pages in your book of life? And that's my journey. My journey is I want to be impactful in Eric's book of life, page 52, chapter whatever. Ed Evans wants to be in that book, right? I'm in there, and this is my impact. As a reference, you can always go back to it and remember that and pull back and say, yeah, I remember that. So for me, that's my first guiding principle. You've allowed me in, I want to respect it, and I want to be truthful with it. And sometimes the truth hurts. My grandmother is the reason why I'm the way I am today.
Okay.
When you talk about patience and the things that this woman poured into me as a youngster, all she wanted to do was keep me off the streets. I grew up in Emerson Avenue, bro. You know, I graduated from, jokingly I tell people I graduated from Mondawmin Mall. You know what I mean? I went to Frederick Douglass Senior High School, but I spent more time
at the mall.
I spent more time over at the mall than I did at school, right? But her whole purpose was to keep me out of trouble. So, and you know, most black families, they're gonna drag you to church, where I went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all day on Sunday, by the way, you know? And I was in the kitchen with my grandmother, and everything she did, I had to do. So she cooked. And that's where patience came in. Believe it or not, the cooking part of my life is where I learned patience.
Wow.
Because nothing happens instantaneously when you're cooking. Nothing. And I begin to associate that to life. Like, you gotta start with the right ingredients. You gotta have the right tools in your toolkit. And then you gotta have the proper kitchen equipment to do the job. But even with all that, you gotta put everything in a pot. You gotta turn that flame on, and you gotta let it do what it's supposed to do. It takes time. You know it, just in basic cooking. If you turn that pot up too fast and too high, your outcome's gonna be different.
Absolutely.
Right? It's gonna be different. You're gonna burn it.
It's about pace, right? Take your time.
Take your time.
Doesn't need to cook immediately.
It doesn't have to be immediate. And I think if people understand that about life, it don't have to be immediate. What's important is, do you have the right ingredients and do you have the right tools in your toolkit? And if you have those two, assemble it, put that pot on simmer and let it do what it's supposed to do. Many times you'll see people, even in the kitchen, oh, I think I need to add more. Why? Why? Why do you need to add more? Society makes us all think we got to keep adding and doing. No, you don't. You got the ingredients in the pot. Let it do what it's supposed to do. Stop stirring it. Stop agitating it. Let it do it. And every so often, yeah, you can taste it. And you can see the difference in it over time as you mature and grow. So everything about cooking is how I learned my patience through my grandmother. Everything about it. And I use cooking as metaphors and life experiences.
And that's what I didn't want people to miss out on, was the metaphor. Because some people like, how do they go from this talking about cooking? If you were listening, you heard him talking about life.
Life.
Let it simmer, let it go, let it come.
Make sure you have all the proper ingredients. You are that. You embody the ingredients. And then from that, what tools do you need? What tools do you need? You need to have a knife, spatula, tongs. We call it mise en place in French. In French, it means to have everything in its proper place. You got to have all that before you even start to do anything. Mm-hmm. You got to have this and this and this and this, and then you can start doing things with it, right? And that's life. You got to have a mother and a father to be born. Those are the two ingredients. Now here you are. Boom. Here's Ed Evans, December 4th, 1973. I come into the world. Here, premature, by the way. Whew. Premature. My original due date was March 15th. So I'm in this world premature, right? So now what? What tools am I getting? The tools come from where? I asked the question earlier, like, where do you get these tools from? Are you who you're supposed to be, or are you who you were made to be?
Say that again. Say that. I need y'all to hear this. I need you to really pay attention.
It's a real question. Like, are you who you're supposed to be, or are you who you were made to be? And most people can't answer that question, E.
Because they don't understand the question. They're like, who I'm told to be, who I'm made to be?
Right. Well, because if you think about it.
But before we go.
Yeah.
With age, how old were you when you realized what that question meant? Because we won't go back to your childhood. But I think for me, I was 37 when I realized what you just said. I was 37 years old.
I was 35 years old when I realized I was not living in my true purpose of who I was supposed to be. I knew who I was made to be. But I was 35 years old when I realized, man, I'm not living within my purpose, because I began to be exposed to things.
Let me ask this. When you said, because you just said, I knew who I was made to be. Explain to people because that's where I want to go with this. I need people to understand when you say, I knew who I was made to be.
Correct.
What does that mean to you?
That means from the time you were born, right? Someone is dictating and outlining when you eat, what you eat, how you eat, when you go to bed, what colors you wear. All this stuff is being pre-programmed to you. I had a woman a couple years ago tell me her kid did not eat Brussels sprouts. And I said to her, well, how do you know he doesn't eat Brussels sprouts? Her response to me was, because I don't eat Brussels sprouts. Oh, so you've never brought a Brussels sprout into your home? Because you don't eat them. So therefore, your child doesn't eat them. But then that's not a fact. See, now you're making him what you want him to be.
Facts.
Because you don't know if this kid likes them or not. But now I'm telling you, you don't like Brussels sprouts. So that's what you can grow up saying. Oh, I don't eat Brussels sprouts. Why? Because I don't like them.
Because I don't like them.
You ever had them? No. How? How can you then say that? That's what I mean when I say you're being made to, or we don't wear those type of shoes, or we don't go there, or we don't. How many times have you heard that growing up? We don't do that. Oh, we don't do this. Okay, it's programming. It's programming. It's programming. So now you're growing up and you're thinking that you're this individual, and then you find out one day, damn, I do like Brussels sprouts.
These are pretty good. Goddamn. These are pretty good.
These are pretty good.
What you do to these Brussels sprouts?
I like these, right? Must be the bacon. You know what I mean? But no, you liked them from the beginning. You were told you didn't like Brussels sprouts, and therefore you did not try them. So you'll be told, oh, we don't belong there. Oh, we don't do that. Oh, we don't do this. You know, my kids eat their steaks medium rare. I had someone tell me, oh, we don't eat our steaks like that. We don't? No, we don't do that. We don't eat steaks like that. Oh, that's interesting. But I'm not going to put that roadblock on my children. I told you in the green room, my kids have to be two things: good people and live free. Explore the world. I don't want to tell you what you don't like. I want you to tell me what you don't like, because you've tried it and you realize you don't like it under the safety net of parenthood.
Yes.
Let your child explore. While you have the net, go. You want to run? Go, jump. I got you.
And in saying that, so your next part of that question is, in saying what you just said, it teaches them to be what? Who they're supposed to be. Now explain that one.
Now,
to the viewers.
Yeah, because once you realize who you're supposed to be, and I was saying it to your wonderful assistant, you unlock your superpower. You identify your purpose once you realize that. Because I'm 35 years old, I go in the bathroom, I close the door, and I have a moment with myself. And I literally tell myself everything I don't like about myself, everything I'm mad about my mother for, everything I'm mad about my father for, everything that I'm jealous about my sisters and brothers for, everything that I don't like about my current situation, where I live, what kind of car I drive. I mean, I'm pouring it all in to myself. And as I'm looking at myself, I'm realizing one thing: it's only me. Everything I'm talking about comes back to me. So who's in control here? How did you really get here in this situation? Can I continue to blame all these circumstances?
Because it's easy to do.
Oh man,
it's easy. You can always reflect back and blame everybody else,
listen,
even though you know what you needed or required.
Society makes it easy for us to do that.
Yes.
Oh, it's okay, you single parent. We understand your father left you. No,
we understand.
Yeah, we understand how you got here. No, you don't. Cause I don't understand how I got here. How you gonna understand how I got here? I don't understand how I got here. But that's the thing they want you to think to make it okay. But when you have that moment, you also understand, oh, I played a part in this. I was acting out in school. I did get put out of Walbrook High School. Oh, I played a part in that. I was on that corner doing some illegal activity. Oh, I played a part in that. Did I not do that? Yes.
And nobody forced me to do that.
Nobody.
These are things I did on my own.
These are decisions that I made, right? Do I own that? I have to. But I don't get to say, oh, it's because
my father wasn't there.
My father wasn't there. That's why
I didn't get the love, and everybody else got the love.
Come on.
Or I was beaten and I was abused.
Right. Did it play a part?
I can be the victim for the rest of my life.
Rest of my life.
And I say it, and I love that part because my very first real job, I worked with sexually and physically pregnant teenage girls. And I learned from more than them. I probably learned more from them than they did from me. But the one thing that I always try to instill in them is that it happened. It's bad, it happened. I need you to learn how to never let it happen again. Don't let it keep you a victim, because so many people want to keep you a victim because as a victim, it's a way of controlling you.
That's how they control you.
And then you take back your control when you say, I'm not a victim.
I'm not a victim.
It happened to me. I overcame it.
And
I will fight through this.
I'm still here.
Yes, and I will be better tomorrow.
I'm still here.
Yes.
The thing I tell people, look, man, we growing up, we played spades. Everybody knows spades games.
By the way, right? I am the best. Me and Kyle Anderson, Sr., two best spades players in the United States. Just putting it out there.
I just want you to know, every black family say that, man. Every black family I know, I'm the best. I'm the best. I can sit here and argue the same thing right now. I'm the best, right? But I like to use analogies that I know we can understand and relate to, right? And I'm going to give you one, and it's about spades, right? And it's about life. I'm going to give you two verticals on it. The first one is, every day we wake up, we're dealt a hand. Every day, life goes, here's your hand. Sometimes, bro, you're going to have a bad hand. This is what I need I need y'all to understand. I need people to really understand. Every day's not roses. Every day you're not gonna have the two of spade, the little joker, the big joker, the king. You're not.
You're not gonna have a 10.
Right. You're not gonna have a 10 hand. Right.
Right.
You're not gonna have a 10 hand every time. Sometimes you're gonna have one spade. It's gonna be the three of. It's gonna be the three of spade. It's just enough to keep it so you can't throw your book in. You know what I mean? That's the way life works, right? So you got your cards, right? But guess what you got to do? You still got to play the hand. You still got to play it. You don't get to go, oh man, I don't have no, and I just, no, you still got to play it. And what I tell people is sometimes you will find that if you play the hand the right way, you get pleasantly surprised sometimes. That Jack of Hearts makes a book. Why? Because you played the hand you were dealt the right way. You didn't get mad at it. You didn't throw the cards up in the air. You played the hand. And the beautiful part about life is tomorrow, you get a brand new hand. Mm-hmm. And this hand, guess what you got? You got the little joker.
Deuce of spades.
Right, you know what I mean? Because you played the last hand the right way. That's why I think people put so much stock in yesterday's hand that they don't even look at the hand they got today. Every day you have a new one you gotta play. You gotta play this hand. It's coming. You wake up today, you get a new one. You gotta play it. The other vertical in spades is I tell people this, and we're gonna get back on topic, but this is about whether it's relationships, work, doesn't matter. The game of spades is what? You and I are partners. This is the relationship aspect of it, right? You and I are partners. Now, you have to tell me what you're capable of doing in this partnership.
Absolutely.
I have to blindly trust what you're telling me you can do, you can do. I'm going to look at my hand that I'm dealt, and I'm going to tell you what I can do in this partnership, and you have to blindly trust, and I have to blindly trust, right? Easy peasy. Here's where it gets complicated, because the game can go two ways. You could be that guy to get all his books first.
I knew where you were going with that.
So just in case we get set,
I got mine.
I did what I was supposed to do. Where yours
at?
Right? Not knowing that you done overplayed everything I had.
Right, you done took me out of the game.
You took me out the game.
You took me out of the game.
You took me out the game. Like that right there is life.
Uh-huh.
Right? If we can just learn, it's life. It's life. So, but if we play together, if I pay attention to what you're playing, your nonverbal cues you're giving me, oh, okay.
The look down,
the eyes up, right.
The look over,
all that, right. But I gotta be doing what? I have to pay attention.
Uh-huh.
And this goes back to life. You gotta pay attention. So if I'm paying attention to you, okay, I see that. Boom. Oh, okay, boom. Now we are in unison. Now we.
And I can say to you, let me let you take the lead.
Right now,
I see what you're doing. Let me let you take the lead.
Let me lay you up now so you can take the lead and shine for a few minutes. And now you make your books. But if you want to be greedy to get yours, so you can have a reason to push back on somebody when things don't work out, as we often do, we often make actions not for the right reason, but for the just in case reason. Oh, I'm a good husband. I'm a provider. Just in case the marriage don't work out, I want to have my resume stacked on all the things that I did do. Yeah, but what didn't you do? That plays a part too in life. All the things you did do, well, what didn't you do? Okay, I get that. All the things my father didn't do taught me what to do. Because I didn't throw the hand in. I didn't get frustrated. I didn't go, oh, I don't have a dad. My mom's a single mother. Oh, I'm in an impoverished neighborhood. I can't play this hand.
So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to take us back.
Go back.
Because there's a story, and when you told me that story, the level of the abuse hurt me to my heart.
Yeah, man.
Like, it goes back to what you just said, because I played that as a child, like Moses, I played that victim, like, my father's not here. My aunts called me an untrained African. My behaviors were attention seeking. I wanted what I wanted. I was the aggressive, I was the bully, I was all those negative things.
Yeah.
And for me, it didn't change until I was 35. So your level of abuse, if you don't mind sharing, I just want, because, and I say this because it's not a pity party.
No,
Not at all.
No, it's a story.
What it is
it's the journey, bro.
the Phoenix perspective is trying to save someone who may feel like they're the only ones that are going through this trauma, this drama, this pain, this hurt, and letting them know there are others out there that they can reach out to and get a response or get assistance or get support. So let them know, like this conversation, share with them, please, that level of abuse, because I know others are going through it and don't know how to handle it.
You know, the physical side of the abuse, because it's a two-part abuse story. There's the physical and then there's the emotional and mental. The physical side of the abuse was my stepfather would beat me until he got tired, literally, with an extension cord, to the point where there was red, bleeding marks coming out of my arms. And then I would get an alcohol bath after that. And then if he felt like beating me some more, he would, in the name of discipline, right? You know, I've been punched, I mean, at 11 years old, bro, with a grown-ass man giving you all his strength into your gut. Yeah, it's a check. It's a check moment, you know? And this was on a regular basis, man. Psychologically, it would be, I'm gonna come in the room at midnight and just start whipping you with a belt. That's how I'm waking you up out your sleep. I'm just gonna start whipping on you, you know? And you're sitting there going, you know, what did I do to deserve this? Like, what's really going on? And to see the look in his eyes. I mean, it wasn't like the back in the day, this hurts me more than it hurts you. Nah, bro, you could see the anger and the venom with every lash. You could feel it. The hate with every lash, bro, you could feel it. And I felt it every single time. I felt it over and over and over again, to the point where the one night when I finally had enough, I called my aunt and I said, please come and get me, because if you do not, I'm going to kill him tonight. I had made up in my mind that when that man went to sleep, I was gonna stab him to death. He was getting up out of here. That's where I was in my life. It's like, you don't come get me right now, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. No child should go through that, but there are so many that
do go through that.
Going through it. And they are not by themselves. And I know the pain they're going through. And the first thing they're asking is, why? See, it's the why that gets you blocked up, especially when you can't answer it. Because there's no reason. You've done nothing. In your mind, in your 10-year-old, 11-year-old mind, what could you possibly fathom to think you've done for someone to literally beat you until they are tired? What? There is no answer for that. So your struggle is the why. Why me? What did I do? I must be a bad person. I mean, you start to tell yourself things in your brain to justify what's happening to you. You start searching. And then it gets reinforced by other negative things out there. Your teachers that say something, oh, you're never going to amount to nothing, which I've been told. I've been told that by teachers. You're never going to amount to anything. So you take, I'm never going to amount to anything. Both families decided they don't want me. This guy decides to beat me half to death. It must be me. It's got to be me. But I'm here to tell people, it's not you. It's not. It's your circumstance. Right? It's not who you are. And you should never allow your circumstance to define you. But you're not the first person. You will not be the last person to go through it. And it is painful. But I'm here to tell everybody, there's a journey way out. You know, there's a way out of it if you can learn to be patient, if you can seek understanding of oneself through that journey. And it's hard, E. It's hard. Because everybody's so self-absorbed in their own trauma, in their own issues. And then they want to tell you how to deal with your pain. I can't tell you how to deal with it. I can't tell you how to deal with your pain. I can share my story. I can do that. I can tell you I love you. I can do that. I can show you I love you. I can do that. But I can't tell you how to cope with your pain. I can't. And I think people get lost in that moment. Stop trying to tell people how to deal with their pain. Some things you just gotta love people through it. Just it. You gotta love them. Everybody I mentor, I just wanna love you through your process. Because it's a journey. It's not tomorrow. You don't wake up tomorrow and everything's okay. I'm still living with the scars, E. I'm 52 years old. I'm still living with the scars. They're there. They're healed, but the marks are still there. The reminder is still there. So you never get over it. You will never get over it.
So how did you come to, was there a moment of forgiveness? Was there a moment of separation? Was there a moment that brought you peace? I know for me, my situation was, all my anger came from my father. Didn't physically harm me, but the lack of. And it took me calling him one day and say, hey, I need to talk to you. Because I was really deep in the church. Church is what took me to that level. And I had this conversation when I met with him. I said, I forgive you. I'm sorry for all the anger I had towards you. And I didn't miss out on your life. You missed out on mine. My father had a gang of children. And my oldest brother, who I did not have a good relationship, died. He died last year. And I was at his funeral. Didn't have a good relationship. And everyone at that funeral knew my brother was a motherfucker. And I didn't understand until that moment when they talked about him. He was nothing bad, he was just an angry child. My father was married to his mother. I never understood why he and I didn't have a good relationship until his funeral, when I heard people talk about his anger and his behavior. It was that man who was supposed to care for him and care for his sister and care for his mother, who was physically abusive, left him and his family to go make babies all over the country and not care for him. And I happened to be the product of one of those babies. So it was at that point that I understood his resentment towards me, probably his resentments to his siblings, his resentment to his family.
Y'all were the reason.
What's that?
Y'all were the reason.
So that was what, it brought back everything with my father, but it just gave me an understanding of the person that he was and how life affected him. So I go back to you. After those things happened, what was your saving of grace? What was your settling moment? What was that thing that helped you not kill yourself?
Which, hey,
because I know those thoughts have to go through your mind. I'd rather be dead than live through this shit.
We didn't even touch on the suicidal thoughts, man.
Yes.
Wanting to end your own life, not to have to deal with it no more.
Yes.
Yeah, those are.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, those are dark moments when you're sitting there because you feel like there's no way out. Because the people who should protect you are the ones that's hurting you. And who can you go to? You know, I'm living in a home where you better not tell nobody what goes on inside this house.
Which we do in our family.
You know,
you better not talk about.
You know, you better not
talk about how it used to be. How it used to be.
Right.
You better not talk about what's going on in this family.
I mean, we were told that. I would get the speech before we go to Thanksgiving dinner. You better not say one word about what's going on in my house. So what am I supposed to do? I got to act accordingly or pay the price. Right? I will tell you, I was 20 years old, my firstborn child. That's what changed my life. Ooh. And I often remind my transgender son, who was my daughter at the time, that time that she saved my life. You know, you don't, and I'm probably going to tear up here in a minute, and it's okay. I'm
gonna tear up with you. It's okay.
But
this is life.
I'm gonna ask you to get me a napkin ready because I'm telling you right now, no, really, because it's coming. It's coming because you never know what true love is until you hold something that looks at you with this joy, you know, and for the first time in my entire life, bro, I'm sitting there holding something and she is looking at me, man, and it is like, I could do no wrong. I mean, I was a fucking superhero to this kid, man. And for the first time in my life, I had actual purpose. I had a reason to live every single day moving forward. And every single day of my life from that point on, it was all about that human being. I never knew what love felt like, bro. Unconditional love, if I was getting it, I didn't know how to receive it. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know what it felt like. Never. That moment was the first time that I ever got to feel that love from anything or anybody in that respect. So when she was born, bro, that was it. It was an absolute game changer for me because first and foremost, it was something that I created. It was actually the only thing I've ever created in 20 years of living. I had never had an accomplishment until then. Never. There was no highlight in my life. What was it? I was a high school graduate. What was my highlight? That was my highlight, and that gave me purpose. And I began to realize what love really felt like. And that's why I tell people you have to love people through it, man. Because sometimes people just don't, you can't differentiate. If all you've had is pain, you don't know what love truly feels like. And when you get it, you don't know how to receive it. You can't receive it because you're hardened through life. We talked about it. You know, that cement block is only this much, man. It's from the neck up, bro. That's where we protect ourselves with the cement.
Now, I want you to explain that because we did talk about that earlier, that cement block, and I want people to understand that hurt, that anger.
Oh, man.
Because I learned this a long time ago when I first started working with children, and Dr. Janet Stevenson used to do clinical supervision with us, and she would always explain that block, that cement, the walls that go up
layers,
and up
man.
and up.
You just keep building.
That we don't, we probably never lose, especially as men.
You don't lose it.
And not to say women don't.
Yeah.
But
they do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not to say they don't, because they do.
They do.
But explain that to people so they can hear that.
You know, it's,
and I think it'll touch them to understand it. I do have this, and I'm all for therapy. Therapy saved my life.
Yeah.
I'm all for therapy.
Yeah, man.
But explain that when you
just,
say that wall.
You know, with every incident in anybody's life, you build a layer. Any pain in your life, you build a layer. And you just keep, and it's stackable at this point, and it just keeps doing this. And all we keep doing is pouring more concrete on it and cement it. And it's a defense mechanism. We are trying to protect ourselves the only way we know how. So I gotta harden myself, void myself of feelings. Let me say that again. I have to void myself of feelings to protect my feelings. You understand what I'm telling you right now? I have to shut myself off from receiving whatever that is you're trying to give me, A, because I don't trust you. Because the people who are supposed to love me show me what they can do. So I know what can happen if I open myself up and become vulnerable to you. So I gotta put a layer there, right? First layer. Black man, second layer. Youth, third layer. My environment, fourth layer. I'm building these layers of protection around myself so that I don't get hurt by anything. But the problem is I allow the 10% to override the 90. Because the 90% of me is a good person. And this is what you see in the streets. 90% of that individual is a damn good person, but we allow the 10% to take over as a protector. So we begin to listen to it more. We begin to act on it more. We begin to we lead with it more. We lead with anger now. Not love, we lead with anger. We lead with toughness because it's an act. I'm showing you, you better not. Really what I'm saying is I'm afraid.
I'm afraid.
I'm afraid, bro. That's what I'm saying to you. But I'm leading with this to let you know that I'm hard. But really what I'm telling you is I'm afraid. I'm afraid you're going to hurt me. I'm afraid you can hurt me. But if I do this, it'll shave you off. It'll keep you at a distance. It'll keep you where you are. It'll put you in your place. And that's what we do. And I've done that. And that's what my life was from 9 years old, 8 years old, pretty much up until 35. The layers. And like I said, the sadness in that is, it's the 10% that we allow to occupy 90% of what we do. The other 90% is beautiful, man. You talk to young men in prison. You talk to them. Once you break through that layer and you get to that 90%, you find this amazing, loving, caring, charismatic, intelligent human being. And you go, man, where was that? It was buried under 10% of hurt, pain, and anger. And you just keep piling it on anyway. So my environment is where I'm at. I don't know how to get out of it. I just don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it. Because nobody walks up to them and say, hey man, here's a hug, bro. And here's something else. I really do love you, man. Every guy I mentor, I tell him first I love him. One young man said to me, you can't love me, you don't even know me.
Yep.
That's what he told me. And I said, why can't I have love for you? You don't even know me. I said, but I do know you, because you me.
You me. I've lived it.
You're me, bro. You're me. And I tell people that because you said something earlier that made me think about when you're mentoring these young men. You said you answer the phone calls at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. First of all, I want to commend you for that because I want to tell you why that's so important. And and this goes to all the black men, all the leaders out there that's trying to be mentors. You got to say what you mean and mean what you say when you're dealing with these young men.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The street campaign is 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, bro. When I was growing up, my heroes were drug dealers. You know why? Because when they said, yo, call me anytime, they meant that shit, bro.
Yeah.
They meant call me anytime. And when I called, they answered. Now that mentor cat that came to my school with the suit on, with the business cards, posturing, call me anytime.
Call me anytime.
I call, I'm getting ghosted. So all he did was validate my street dude had more credibility.
Absolutely.
So who I'm going to now? I'm not coming to you because you already showed me, yeah, you ain't really about that life, bro. But that dude, he answered the call. So now where does my allegiance go? Who gets the credibility? It's really important that when we're in these spaces and we're given these opportunities, you got to be impactful and intentional, or don't do it. I'd rather you not do it. I'd rather you don't.
Exactly. Don't do it. Don't
I'd
reach
rather you
out. Just leave me be.
Leave me be. I'd rather you don't do it. Honestly, I'd rather you not do it. That's the way I feel. What you got for me?
All right.
We can get deep.
We get right deep. We get right deep. We talked about some things, bro. And we haven't even hit the story. Like we hit birth through 20.
Yeah.
And you're 52.
Yeah.
And have done these incredible things.
Yeah. Full circle moment.
Tell me this.